Hey guys, welcome back to 7th grade Latin online. If you haven't already translated number 3, 4, and 5, the other 5 lectiones from this set for the form today, you should do that first and then continue to watch this video because I'm just going to go through all 5 of these and reveal the proper translations. Keep in mind, on Friday, I will have you translate one of these once again, one of these 5 sentences, and I will ask you about 10 of these words. So make sure you're prepared in time for Friday's form, which will, in fact, be a quiz. Also, I'm going to throw a screen cap of this slide up on the form today. It'll be at the bottom somewhere because I think it's really useful. This boils down all of the new grammar, this chapter, which is just these new passive verb endings, which aren't too bad. I mean, there's basically just 6 of them, right? We do have future and imperfect versions of them, but the imperfect ones are wildly easy to spot. You're just adding ba to the left side of them. And the future ones aren't too hard. The future ones are a little weird. First and second person might catch you off guard. But there they are down there. Bore, embarrass with an E. Beris. But yeah, I am verbed, you are verbed, it is verbed, we are verbed, y'all are verbed, etc. You need to know them before we move on. All right, we'll start checking these. I don't have an announcement yet about a open tutoring Zoom session thing on Thursday. So I might end up amending this video and have like a second video right under it explaining how that's going to work. Otherwise, just look forward to information in emails. Yeah, the attendance link for Thursday. I might have some information about it then, and we'll see. We'll make sure we can contact Miss Kittle's students as well. All right, so Libri huius generis pueris a magistro dabantur sed pauci legebantur. This one's not too bad. Looks like we have a genitive. What else? I suppose you guys definitely at least worked on this one and number 2, so I won't spend too much time. I'm trying to see what's weird about this. Da buntur. I guess that is the only new grammar going on in lege buntur. All right, let's see here. So we have 2 passive verbs with da buntur and lege buntur. Da buntur is future passive, and lege buntur is imperfect passive. If you're having trouble identifying that, the TUR should be a dead giveaway that it's passive third person to begin with. And then BUNT should remind us of our bunt cake meme, which we associated with the future tense. And then BANTUR, that is the third person plural imperfect ending, or at least it should remind us of that. And that was one that we never really had a meme for third person plural imperfect, unfortunately. But yeah, those are third person plural passive. So books of this kind or type, first 3 words, will be given. Will be given is just dabuntur. That's how we're translating dabuntur. Will be verbed. That's how you translate future passive, just will, and then we need a be, and it's always going to be. So translating future passive is actually the most straightforward passive to translate because the helping verb's not going to change. It's always going to be. All right, I will be verbed, you will be verbed, it will be verbed, etc. So will be given, because dabuntur is just from dodare, to the boys. Pueris is our indirect object, so I got to whip out the blue color coding for our indirect object there. We often don't have indirect objects. Given to the boys by the master, so magistro would be the same as ob magistro. That is our ablative of agent. Remember, ablative of agent and ablative of means are going to be showing up pretty much. What was that? I've been saying like 3/4 of the time that we have a passive verb. So more than half the times that we have a passive verb, be looking for an ablative. If it's a person, it'll be ablative of agent. If it's a thing, it'll be ablative of means. But let's see, by the master, but was read. So like gay bontour, it's still passive third person plural, but it's switching tense, as I said, to imperfect. So we're going to whip out was or were. In this case, was. So was read. Or wait, let's see, but was read. I guess it'd be were, but the books were read. Yep, I need to fix that. Books were read by few. Pauci. Pauci is our ablative of agent as well. So the books will be given by the teacher, but they were read by few. Which is it's kind of a sad little sentence. those pueris should have read those books. But yeah, so good, pretty straightforward. Two passive verbs, neither of which are in the present tense, and two separate ablative of agents. So good practice for this chapter. Paucis oris illa flumina caleria and mare and gains fluera coiperant. Okay, I think the only trouble you guys are going to have with this one would have been coiperant, which is just had begun, because it's pluperfect. So coipacy, is always perfect. So it's like normally if it was just coipit, that would be like has begun. But this it's that erant ending is pluperfect, so it's had begun, and it's going to take a complementary infinitive. In this case, it's right next to it, to the left, fluera, to flow, had begun to flow. All right, that's all that's going on there. And then paucis oris is an ablative of time when. So like in a few hours. Or you could also say within a few hours. Our subject I've just underlined, so you definitely understand what the entire noun phrase of the subject is. It's just that swift river. Illa flumina caleria. Oh wait, that's plural, actually. Those swift rivers, rather, had begun to flow into the huge ocean. So as you can see, mare is in the rusty red color because it's actually accusative. That's why it's into the huge ocean and gains mare. Cause yeah, remember mare. This is how it's going to end, and it's nominative and accusative. It's a weird, irregular, third declension noun. This is how it shows up in its subject, and it's a direct object form. It's not ablative. I bet a lot of people just said had begun to flow in the ocean, but maybe that kind of rang as sounding a little weird to you, and then you figured it out. But yeah, it's accusative into the huge ocean. All right. Mentes omnium auditorum tertia satura ilias poetae clari movebantur. You should have just now done this, or maybe done it yesterday. Let's see. It looks like we have two genitive noun phrases, and tertia satura is an ablative. So we're having a lot of ablatives and genitives in general in these sentences, ablative especially. I wonder what kind of ablative that could be. And then we get to movebantur, which is, oh look, it is third, plural, imperfect, passive. Okay, this is what, the second time we're seeing this one? I'm pretty sure we saw the same verb in the future third, plural passive in the story, right? Somebody will be moved by anger. So a subject's not going to be moving something, a subject's going to be moved by something. All right, so we end up with the minds of all listeners, omnium auditorum, were moved, movebantur, were verbed, were moved. How were they moved? Oh, by the third satire. I bet a lot of people stumbled on tertia and didn't remember that that is just the ordinal version of tre, the cardinal for three. So it's the third satire. Remember, satire is a type of writing that is humorous, and sometimes it's like a critique of something. The third satire of that renowned poet. So Ilias Poetae Clari, they're all genitive. They don't look like they're all genitive necessarily, or like they don't look like they might all be the same case, but they are. They just all have different declensions going on. Clary can be clear or bright, so he could be a bright poet, as in it's used both figuratively and literally. So bright works, but it can also be renowned, like famous. Yeah, the word has to do with like visibility, whether it be figurative or literal. And this is a very well-known poet. Everybody is aware of this person because they're moved by his third satire or her third satire. And that third satire is an ablative of means, okay? So be on the lookout for these ablatives without any prepositions around. That is always the case for ablatives of means. Ablative of agent, they actually have the or the ob. But ablative of time when, like, in a few hours, and by the third satire, there's no preposition there. You just have to completely work off of context to put that together. All right, moving on ahead. We're just blowing through these. Okay. Quod discipulos in ludum non admissit ad alium urbem aut civitatem moeri cupiverunt. Okay. I told you guys at the end of Monday's video that this quod is a because. It is not a qui quod relative pronoun quod. So that should start us off a little bit. So everything up until the comma is just going to be because she, we have a dropped subject, so it could be she or he or whoever, because it did not admit, that's how I'm going to take non admissit because it's perfect tense. So did not verb, or has not verbed. You can totally use has not verbed. I guess that'd be, yeah, it'd be more long-winded. Has not admitted, but I'll say she did not admit the students. Discipulos is our direct object. She didn't verb the students into school. So ludus can be game or school, but when you're admitting someone, it seems like the context is indicating that it's a school and not a game. Okay, because she didn't do this, then what? And then in the second part, we have a passive infinitive and moeri. Do not be thrown by these passive infinitives, guys. So a lot of the time, we'll have these conjugated verbs that like to begin to verb or to desire to verb, and they will take an infinitive. But nowadays, it can be an active infinitive or passive infinitive. These passive infinitives look very different than active infinitives, right? They have a long I. None of our active infinitives ever had, they always ended in E, right? All of them, whether it's first, second, third, or fourth conjugation. ARE, long ERE, short ERE, I, long I, RE for fourth conjugation. So this movere is to be verbed, okay? So they, like, because she didn't do this, she did not admit the students into school. They, meaning the students, another drop subject, but we can assume it's about the discipulus, desired, kupi weirant is perfect tense. They desired, or they have desired, I think desired works better here. They desired to be moved to ad alium urbum, to the other city, or another city is fine, to another city or state. Actually, I like another a little better, but I won't change it. To another city or state. Citizenship, I think, would be awkward for civitatem. Okay, so this one's not too bad, but it's kind of two separate parts, and passive infinitives are likely to maybe give us some pause. All right, numerus quinque quoniam numquam larabantur etiam illa studia levia neglegera incipiebant. All right, this one is not bad at all. Unless maybe you forgot quonium, and then you could look up quonium and it should be cleared up. But these first three words, since they were never praised, we have a drop subject, but laudabantur is third, plural, imperfect, passive, as you can see labeled above the English. So they were, we have numquam, so never verbed. They were never verbed. They, incipiebant. Incipiebant is like the normal version of coipi, coipici. If coipi is began, incipio is just to begin, present tense. This one, though, is imperfect. So I'm going to translate it as they began, but they were beginning, works too. They were beginning to neglect, neglegera, infinitive, regular active infinitive, not passive, to neglect even those light studies. Studia is a word, it's from studium, which we don't see all that much, but it's neuter. So this is actually plural accusative direct object. Those light studies. All right, that's about it, guys. I hope these passive innings are going well. We'll see about Thursday. If it ends up, if people are feeling pretty good about the passive voice and identifying the passive innings, then maybe we don't need it. I figure we'll definitely need it for chapter 19. That's when we start to get, we get perfect passive, and that's a little more involved. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe Thursday we won't need a tutoring, is what I'm saying. But I will let you guys know. I might have something contradicting that right below this video. Who knows? But, all right, make sure you guys study a little bit. You might want to make some flashcards out of these if some of them are giving you trouble. Make sure you know these really well, which you can do by simply rewatching this video, I suppose. And other than that, I will talk to you all on Friday after you take your quiz. All right, voila.